Hey, I'm Greg.
And I'm Billy.
And we're the Fuji guys. This is a great video. This is really going to cover off the top features of our XP series cameras. And what I mean by that is we've got two distinct models. We have the XP60, which is more the entry level, and then we have the more advanced, more heavy-duty XP200. But both of these cameras share a lot of the similar features, so we're going to cover them both off in one video. Basically, the controls will be the same when Billy's showing you how to use the high-speed dedicated shooting button, or any of the other features that are buried in the menu or whatever, be the same. So we're going to cover it off in one video. So let's go ahead and do that right now, Billy.
Let's take a look at the advanced filter on the XP60. To access this shooting mode, you need to push the menu OK button, which allows you to bring up the shooting mode option. You want to either push the menu OK or push to the right to select that. And it brings up a secondary menu where you can scroll through the various shooting modes. We're going to scroll down until we see the advanced filter option. And there you go. I'm going to push OK to select that. And of course, then it goes into a secondary menu where you're allowed to select the various advanced filter options. We go just right to the top, I guess. We can see that the first feature is the toy camera. And it gives you sort of a vignetting effect, gives you a nostalgic effect, I guess, to the look of the image. There is a miniaturization effect, and it basically blurs the top and bottom portions to give you sort of that diorama effect. You have pop color, which saturates in the scene and also emphasizes more contrast. You got a high key mode, which basically wash outs the subject. So if you want to have a very white subject, this is one way of doing that. You have the soft focus effect, and it gives you sort of like an effect where, as if you were taking Vaseline or something and putting in front of the lens to give you that little blur effect. That's kind of neat to see. There's a really cool effect called cross screens. As you can see, it kind of shows up as if flashes are being taken. Really, really cool effect actually. There's also effects of partial color, and the partial color you can isolate different colors like red, which I have here, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and again and then it goes back to the top again. So if I just try out the isolation maybe of the yellow there, as you can see there, that sign there is in yellow. The great thing about this feature is that it gives you a live view of what you're going to capture. So again, you're not having to guess what it's going to turn out to be. So I'm going to take that picture, and as you can see, the camera is going to process that image and gives me an image that's black and white with only the yellow showing on the image itself. So again, that's just a nice little feature of this camera. Let's take a look at the HD option on the... Let's take a look at the full HD option on the XP60 camera. Again, you got a dedicated video recording button that allows you to start and stop the video. It doesn't matter what shooting mode you're at, so I can actually push the record button and it starts recording HD video. In fact, it records at 60 frames a second, which is great for action. You can configure it to shoot at lower resolutions if you wanted to. As you can see during the recording as well, I'm just going to move the object around so later on when you see playback, you'll see what 60 frames a second is going to do for you, especially when you're shooting sport action shots. You can also take photos during the recording by pushing the shutter button. As you can see there, I took a snapshot, and it's not going to interrupt my video. Again, I can take another snapshot and even another snapshot. And if I wanted to stop the recording, I just push the record button, as you can see. And when we play back the shots that we're taking, you'll see that there's images here that we shot. And of course, you have your little video here that we recorded at full HD at 60 frames a second. And you notice it has a built-in speaker, built-in mic, so you can hear the audio there. You can configure it to shoot at lower resolutions if you wanted to. As you can see during the recording as well, I'm just going to move the object around so later on when you see playback, you'll see what 60 frames a second is going to do. So that's a cool look at the HD option on the XP60 camera. Let's take a look at the high-speed shooting on this camera. To get into that mode, all you have to do is push the high-speed toggle on the top, and it jumps right into the high-speed mode. The mode can be configured for different speeds, but we have it on basically the highest speed that gives you full resolution. And all you have to do now is just push the shutter button here to take the photo. So I'm just going to shake that head there and just take a bunch of shots, as you can see. And again, it just snaps off a bunch of shots, about 10 shots actually. And as it sort of stores that onto your memory card, It actually groups the images together so that when you navigate through the different screens, you don't have to go through all 10 shots. It just groups it together. If you want to see each individual shot, you push down on the directional pad. And now you have the 10 shots. You can navigate through the various shots that you've just taken right there, as you can see. It's kind of cool to see. And again, if you toggle back again, it goes back to the standard mode. So you got the high-speed shooting mode, toggle it back, and you got the single shooting mode. So it's a great little feature when you really want to capture action shots, and it takes sort of the guesswork away of doing that. The motion panoramic feature is a great feature on the XP cameras. In order to get into that mode, you basically go and turn on the camera. Of course, you go into the menu, and from there you change the shooting modes and scroll down until you see the motion panoramic feature. As you can see, it's right about there. And once you select that, you can tap the shutter button to get out here. You can actually change the angle as well as the direction. So by pushing down, you can go for 360, 180, or 120. I'm just going to use the 120 feature just to make it easier for me to show. And in addition to that, you can change the direction from panning left to right, right to left, bottom top to top, top to bottom. Preferably I want to show you this trick where I can select bottom to top, and instead of doing this, I just rotate the camera vertically and do my panoramic shot. And it's actually going to give me a higher resolution when I actually do this. And then again, you can see the files being processed. I play it back for you here. You can see that it gives you sort of high resolution, and it's very, very simple to do. You can zoom in and take a look at that there. As you can see, it does an incredible job. It's a great feature for these XP cameras. Both the XP cameras have a Pro Focus Pro Low Light mode. Let me show you that. You push the menu OK button, select the shooting mode, and then from there you can scroll up or down until you see these basically Pro Low Light mode. So the Pro Low Light mode, if I set it up, it's going to allow me to take basically 4 shots. And so this is generally used for taking pictures of a night scene, and you want to have the camera on a tripod or keep it steady as possible. When I actually take the picture, it actually takes 4 shots right after, and it merges the 4 shots and determines what's noise, what isn't noise, giving you sort of a cleaner looking image. And this is great for when you're shooting at higher ISOs and shooting in nighttime. It helps to make that image even a lot nicer looking. In addition to that, there's also the HDR or high dynamic range mode. And if you select that through, again, the menu system, it does the same thing by taking 4 different shots, and then it merges it together, looking at the highlights and the shadow areas, and try to keep it all intact so that you get a detail both in highlights and in shadow, so that they're not washed out. So again, if you kind of zoom in, you'll see that certain things that should be white and washed out, there's still detail in that, and of course the highlight areas also show detail. So that's a cool feature found on both of the XP cameras. Now, aside from it being a shockproof, waterproof camera, of course, you can also do great shots in terms of macro. It does have a very close macro. You can turn it on through the macro button on the back here, enable that, and it allows the camera to actually get close-up focus, as you can see. Let's just see how close I can get to obtaining focus. About there. So if I take that shot and I play that back for you, you can see it's great for taking extreme details. I always find that shooting in macro mode, it becomes very, very sharp, as you can see here. And this is great on this camera. Again, found on both the XP. But if you go into the shooting menu and you switch it to, say, the scene recognition auto, you don't have to turn on macro. It does it automatically. If it determines that the focus is very close, it's going to automatically adjust to the macro mode for you, which is kind of a nice, simple mode. Sometimes it doesn't do it ideally, but for most situations, it's great that it auto-adjusts for you. So both the XP60 and X200 are basically shockproof, waterproof, dustproof, sandproof, everything-proof camera, even freeze-proof. The differences, of course, in the way they're built and structured. The XP60 is basically waterproof to about 6 meters or 20 feet, and about shockproof to about 1.5 meters to 5, or basically 5 feet. The differences between the X200 is that it's a little bit more tougher in the sense that you can take it down to 15 meters or 50 feet. And also that it's shockproof to about 2 meters instead of the 1.5. This is going to be great for maybe scuba diving. And I've seen actually videos where they've actually taken this camera down past 100 feet and it still continues to work without any issues. But of course, we trying to make it safe and tell you that ideally you want to keep it within that 50 feet range in order for the camera to properly operate. Again, these are cool features that are found in both. You know, they both have this anti-reflective LCD screen. As you can see, this little purple color here. It helps to see in bright sunlight. The camera also, the LCDs also have a very bright LCD that's about 600 CD nits, which is almost 2.5 to 3 times brighter than the average point-and-shoot cameras. On the front of the camera, of course, you know, they have sort of anti-repellent coating so that water repels off of the lens. So every time you've been in the pool, you notice you take a picture with a waterproof camera, you get these little watermarks on your images, and it could be in the wrong location that ideally you hate. So having that repellent coating allows for the water droplets to kind of roll off the lens when you're taking pictures in the water. So cool features to have with both of these cameras. Now the difference between both of these cameras, of course, is that other than being more tougher, it also has a built-in Wi-Fi. There's an LED light. The screen resolution is a lot higher compared to the original XP60. But the other remaining feature, of course, is the Wi-Fi functionality, where you can transfer images to your smartphone as well, to a computer if you wanted to download images directly to the computer. So let me see if I can try that out. You would be in the playback mode. You would push the button here, and from there you can actually send an individual image, multiple images, or even view images off your smartphone. You need to download the app, whether it's iOS. It's called the camera application from Fujifilm, and if it's on Android, it's also the same. So again, you want to send I want to send an individual image, and I want to see if I can actually connect here by clicking on the receive button. I'm going to try to connect here if this works or not. Sometimes you may have to go into the network settings on your camera to select the XP200. And in this case here, let's see if I can get that to work. I'm just going to go into the settings. I'm going to look for the XP60. As you can see, it's connected to now the camera itself. And once that's connected in that sense, I can go back to my camera application and see if, let me try it again. So I'm going to push OK to retry and see if that actually connects for me. Again, it is a direct connect where you don't really have to configure, but if it's the first time you're connecting, you do have to go into the settings to do that. Let me just try that again. Okay, so there we go. It found it. I'm going to push OK to transmit, and the images hopefully is going to transfer from my phone onto my smartphone, as you can see there. And you can obviously do other things like browse the image as well. And if you wanted to browse the camera, see if I can try to connect this again. View images. I'm going to try to connect here, see if it connects or not. Gets a little tricky sometimes, but let me see if I can push connect to see if it actually connects or not. It could also be my work Wi-Fi. My phone is connected to it, so it prefers that over the camera's Wi-Fi. But so you want to have the auto Wi-Fi on, turned off maybe on your smartphone in order to connect. But that's just again a quick look at the Wi-Fi functionalities. Of course, if you download images to your computer, it's a lot nicer that on your computer it connects to your home network, and then you can download images direct to your computer using the autosave feature on the that you can also download from Fuji.
Well, that's great. What a great improvement over last year as well. Love a couple of the new features, again, like the high-speed shooting button. I'm not a big fan of digging into menus before I can try and capture high-speed shooting, because usually you miss the subject when you have to do that. So that and that video light on the new XP200 is amazing as well. So
the battery door latch
is a big improvement anyway. So thanks, Billy. That was an awesome video. And so make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can check out our other videos, and follow Billy on Twitter. So until the next video, I'm Greg.
And I'm Billy.
And we're the Fuji guys.